I'm Adam Calaway. I'm here at NCBA 2014 in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm with Tammy Hensen. Tammy, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from Nebraska. We're a family ranch that we just recently, our son was able to come back into the cattle business. The business, he also has some corn ground. That was allowed. He's the fifth generation member to come back into the Hensen family to be able to be in agriculture.
So tell me, what it's important for you to have your family invested in agriculture just like so many other families here. Talk a little bit about that transition then.
Well, I tell you, we're excited to be able to have him in here. It's really a tough one for our young people to get back into agriculture. We deal with so many things. The drought has played a big part, just recently here. But, that's just part of who we are. It's a family business. It's our business. That's what we do, and we want him back in there.
A lot of people will say that unless it is a family farm that you couldn't get into agriculture. So you're passing this on to him now, and he's going to be dealing with a myriad of issues coming up as an agriculture producer in the next generation, one of which is animal welfare. Animal welfare is always near and dear to the producer's heart. Talk a little bit about animal welfare and what it means to you as a producer.
Well, animal welfare is always, it's in the forefront of what we do. Our animals are the most critical part of our business. We make sure that those animals are cared for many times before the rest of us are even cared for. They're taken care of. Especially this time of year when we're running into the cold weather, we do a lot of things within our ranches and our businesses to make sure that they are cared for. If it involves shelter belts, making sure that they get behind those trees and are protected. The vaccination programs that we use, our beef quality assurance programs, we go a long ways to make sure that those animals are taken care of.
What would you say to the consumer then that they probably don't, what they may not know about animal welfare and operations around the country?
I guess the biggest thing I want to tell them is that we're consumers of that product as well. And what we're eating is the same thing that we're producing for them to eat. So we go to great lengths to make sure we're producing the best product that is available in this world.
One of the other issues that has come up is McDonald's said that they're going to use verifiable, sustainable beef by 2016. What does sustainable mean to you?
I guess I have a different definition than obviously some other groups have, but my reply to sustainable is that there isn't anybody in this country that's gone hungry, because agriculture is sustainable. We are sustainable. Everything we do is sustainable. It's a very critical part. And I guess I'm a little lost as to what is the definition of that. Sustainability is that we are here. Agriculture's here. We've went through some really, really tough times, and we go to great lengths to continue to produce these products.
One of the tough times that you were talking about earlier is the drought and the impact that it's had on the size of the cattle herd. Tell me a little bit about what the difference is in cost now to produce a calf now than, say, when you and your husband started.
Well, I'll tell you, it has almost tripled. We're looking at, and the drought has played a big part in that, because in order to keep the ground that we need, the grass, the things that we have to do to keep those animals fed, it takes so much more. And when it's not there, a lot of us have had to sell down our cow herds, because we're not going to let them go hungry. It's not going to happen. So expenses have really gone up. We deal with so many things with our property taxes, the tax situations, environmental issues, a lot of added expenses, fuel. Fuel is a major thing for everyone. And everyone knows what fuel's done, So we started this in the 80s, and it was pretty tough then, but if you calculate the prices and then what has happened since that time, you know.
Is it fair to say that a lot of the expenses that producers incur aren't passed on to the consumer? You absorb a lot of those.
We do absorb a lot of those. We do absorb a lot of those added expenses, and you know, I guess I don't know the answers to that, but it does make it very difficult. And you know, we go to great lengths to produce a very good product, and we do absorb a lot of those costs that are added to our bottom line.
You said that you do eat what you produce, so tell me what's your favorite cut and what's your favorite recipe that you feed your kids?
Well, I tell you, a good steak can never be beat. A good steak is probably a main one at our house. And meat, of course, beef is always on our plate at our house. And, you know, my kids have grown up eating everything. They've never complained. There is maybe not, I guess, a good steak is a good one.
If you could say one thing to all the consumers in the United States, and they could hear you, what would you say?
You know, you have the best food in this whole world, you know, and we also not only have the highest quality food, we actually probably have the most affordable food of anywhere in this country. And, you know, appreciate that. It's something that we should never take it for granted.
Tammy, thank you so much for being here on Cattle Chat Corner.